Welcome to this episode of the People Dividend podcast. I'm your host, Mike Horne, and I am thrilled to be in the virtual studio today with Simon Severino. And I know for those of you who are watching on YouTube, and I'd encourage you to do that, you'll see some great things behind Simon. Strategy sprints, the 200,000 cake, the 200,000 club. We're going to talk all about those things today. But he's got such a great career as a CEO turned advisor, working in the B2B space and really helping clients generate revenues far exceeding their expectations. So it's so nice to have someone who is tried and true in this regard. And I'm so anxious to talk with Simon, and I think it'll help everyone in the audience to think about, what are situations that seem out of our control at times? What are situations that seem out of our reach at times? And Simon is going to talk specifically for everyone in our audience listening today about what can help you about unbreakable resilience. And that's what I'm so thrilled and delighted to have Simon Severino. Welcome, Simon. Can you introduce yourself to our audience? I can't do your speaking, your books, all of that justice with what I have.
Hello, Mike. Hey, everyone. Yes, Simon Severino. I started 22 years ago as a strategy advisor in a global advisory. And then after a few years, I went on my own, and I've stayed in love with the topic of strategy. One thing that I was struggling with is some projects just wouldn't work. We would know what to do and even how to do it, but on the client side, they wouldn't execute. And so I started digging deeper into the principles of flow and what makes people actually enjoy working, solving problems, being creative. And then I found out that there are better ways to do what I was doing. And that became the strategy sprints method, where the sprint element was breaking down things into much smaller chunks than usual. And it was less about planning and less about analyzing. And it was really more about exploring and doing and having fun and being proud of yourself when you have improved something for somebody. And that became the strategy sprints method, which is in order to really really take care of the flow part, because otherwise teams, they burn out or they lose the fun of working, and then they're not creative anymore.
There is something, Simon, to starting small, to chunking it down, to breaking it down, to making even incremental progress. I'm often reminded about the hare and the tortoise, and one goes slower than the other, and but there is this measured pace. I think that's so important in human resources, and as we think about, does it always have to be a big bang? But so you've saved people a lot of time with strategy sprints too. Can you say a little bit about that?
Yeah, the strategy sprints method accelerates sales and take off a lot of work that either really doesn't need to be done by people or can be organized in a better way, in a more efficient way. Because what we see, so a coaching cycle in a strategy sprint is 90 days. And in those 90 days, we see that people are doing too much. So they have too many activities on their plate. And they are not genuinely happy with their creative output. They have the feeling that they're doing many activities, but in the evening, they are not energized, proud of what they have accomplished. Sometimes they feel like, oh my God, I worked the whole day. Where is it gone? What did I accomplish? I don't have the feeling that I'm proud and that I can walk to dinner and be, a great dad, great mother, a great husband, a great friend to everyone, because I'm still I have this feeling that I didn't accomplish anything, but I worked so hard.
This is often a dilemma in professional work. It's not like a bank teller or some other job where you might finish or settle at the end of the day. I mean, a lot of professional work doesn't stop and certainly goes beyond the confines of the conventional office.
Exactly. And so we'll drill down and say, okay, what, how can we attack this? How can we change this? And one thing was to introduce specific ways of meeting, so of coming together as a team. We've created a Monday meeting and the Friday meeting. Basically, we have eliminated all meetings in between because they were full of meetings. And so we said, what if we reset? We just cancel all meetings and then see what do we actually miss? Which conversations do we miss? Which learnings need to be organized, orchestrated, put into the calendar? Who should be there? And so we started really greenfield, and we found out, okay, most teams want to have a Monday short meeting where everybody says what their priority is, because it's great to know what everybody's doing. That's the Monday. And also on Monday, you come back from the weekend where you were not thinking about work at all. You were just doing fun stuff with your friends, with your family. And so it's helpful to have something that centers you again in the context of your professional purpose and mission. So, okay, what's the mission again? Okay, what should be my number one contribution this week? Okay. And then the possibility for feedback, because if I show up to that Monday meeting and say, my biggest contribution, the most important thing that I am doing is I will create this YouTube video. Well, then everybody has the chance to say, wait a second, you are the CEO. I don't think YouTube is your most important thing, right? You should be hiring, you should be changing the culture in that process or in that department, right? There are bigger things that you should do. Okay, oh, thanks for reminding me. Okay, now I have my focus for the week. And then during the week, actually, instead of meeting again, everybody just doing their stuff, because this is what people love to do. We are in flow when we build stuff, when we solve problems, when we help somebody, when we create something that expresses our innate abilities. And so on Friday, most teams said, no, but now I want the meeting again because I want to learn from the week. What did you guys learn about yourself, about us, about the clients, about the markets, about the competitors, about what's going on in the world? And so on Friday, there is this learning meeting. Let's learn from it. So we said, we're going to do this. What happened? And what do we learn? What is currently working for us? So let's do more of that next week. And what is not working?
Well, and I love this. And in a large measure, it's all about creating community, isn't it? You're getting people together twice a week on a Monday and a Friday. You're bookending it. You're emphasizing goals and learning and vision and attainment. All of these things come together in this wonderful cycle. And as I think about creating community too with all of our listeners, it really helps our podcast community to grow when you drop a like on Apple or wherever you listen, or on YouTube. If you're willing to extend this community to engage in, what Simon talks about in terms of bookends after you're listening today, consider a like. Or so where does this unbreakable resistance happen, Simon? And what part of the equation are we talking about? Does it happen between Monday and Friday, or is it something else? Is it a leadership thing, or?
Yeah, what leads to burnout? Because the big problem right now is burning out. And either burning out means, oh, I can't do this anymore. My battery is running out. I'm out. I'm collapsing. I will retract. Or it is an inner burnout where I just don't really lean in strongly. I just do the minimum, the bare minimum, which is also a form of burning out, right? Of disconnecting from the team and from the mission. So if we look at that and we look at what are the main contributors to burning out, we can go to the other side and say, okay, how do we make sure that we design for resilience and for energy instead of that? One was They spend all the time in meetings instead of having some creative time. And so we've solved for that by having just a beginning of the week and end of the week meeting. And in between, it's more like a painter workshop, right? Where everybody is just painting. Picasso didn't have a ton of meetings with other painters during the week, right? Maybe he would meet them after a full day of painting in the bar and play cards and have some fun, but not during.
And for all of my leaders in the audience and HR executives and managers and business partners, I think these are the concepts that I describe in my most recent book, The People Dividend. As we create a sense of autonomy for people, it increases engagement and it increases productivity. And that's why the concept of the dividend is so important in terms of people and culture, people and organizations, because it's not a tax that you're paying, but rather it's this dividend that we're yielding. And I think much of what Simon discusses and presents in his methodology is this sense of, you've got a sense of professional autonomy, you've got engagement, you've got community. Say some more about that, Simon.
Yeah, the next thing is, one thing that contributes to burnout is I'm doing things, but I do not feel the results. There is no loop, no feedback loop during the week. Because maybe if I wait a month, then I will get some form of a report that tells me something. But imagine you are playing on your iPad, you are playing Angry Birds, right? You shoot the bird, it says 600 points. You shoot the next bird, it says 800 points. What do you want to do next? Most people want to shoot the next bird and go
That's
for it.
right, yeah. It's like a casino, like a slot machine or something, or like any addiction.
No, it's just a normal loop of doing something and feeling what happened. Now imagine, instead of that loop back that says 800 points immediately, it says, in a month, I will send you a report with your points. That would be utterly frustrating and nobody would play that game anymore. But this is what organizations do. They don't measure every Friday what the inputs and outputs were, what did we do, and what was the outcome, and what was the impact of that. If you start doing it, so in the strategy sprints method, every Friday we measure. Everybody has a swim lane. Swim lane is from end to end. You don't need to interrupt them. They go uninterrupted. They don't have to ask anybody. They just do from end to end. And on Friday, they report back. So what happens is on Friday, for example, let's say my swim lane is I have to help people reduce costs. So every Friday, I will be asked, Simon, how many dollar did you help reduce? And then we go, oh, this week it's $72,000. Okay, and then we would write down $72,000. So at the end of this week, I get immediate feedback and the team is listening to it. So there is a form of social applause. And sometimes they actually applaud. They go, wow, that's amazing, Simon. You helped people save $72,000. That's so cool. And that's a direct feedback loop. And sometimes knowledge workers, if you don't have that, you lose energy. And over time, you develop, you lose energy. And if you create this little loop, boom, you get energy back. And that's one of the flow mechanisms. And we can uncover many more flow mechanisms. Michael Csikszentmihalyi has wrote a full book about those flow mechanisms. And we have baked them into the strategy sprints method so that teams actually have fun and have more energy. And when they come back on a Monday, they are full of energy and they want to solve the next problems, because business is one problem after the other. Client problems, your problems, internal problems, coordination problems, communication problems. It's all problems. So we better find a way to love problems and solving them.
Yes, so true. And to be in a state of flow or flow psychology and all the great work that's been done in that area. And yet, so many people feel discarded, not paid attention to, nearly abandoned in their organizational roles. What can we do to, create change in this area? I think certainly the method that you're talking about creates the opportunity for that engagement. But so many managers, there's been an erosion of middle management. Everybody's a working manager. You got more people than ever to manage. I mean, that's one way of looking at the world. What do we do in these circumstances to make sure that managers do focus this time on and attention on what's both personal, professional, what is a combination of personal, professional, and organization development and growth?
In the book, I share 274 interventions. The book is called Strategy Sprints. It's available on Amazon. It came out 2022 in English, and then this year it came out in Chinese, and next year it will come out in Russian. And in the book, we go through 274 interventions. Let's cover one more. So the concept of swim lane means whatever you're responsible for, you don't have to ask anybody. You run with it from Monday to Friday. You have a corridor of a budget of people and money that you can use. If you need more, you can negotiate more. But you can run from Monday to Friday and just do stuff. So when that happens, we see people having actually much more energy, and you see their superpowers. You see them shine. And if they need a meeting, they will get a meeting. They will say, "Hey, Mike, I'm building something. Can you give me quick feedback before I continue building it?" But it's not a full meeting with meeting notes. It's just, "Hey, Mike, try this out, criticize it while I'm building it, because I can make it better. It's not shipped yet, so I can make it better." It's a different meeting. It's much more alive. It's quicker usually, and it's more fun.
And that's a way that really creates this kind of engagement, I think, that you're describing. And if a leader wants to take this forward, okay, we've got the series, the cadence going of weekly meetings. What are some of the activities that I take in addition to measurement and that sustain these processes in the strategy sprints?
So many people, after the book, and they have implemented some of those things with their teams, now they want to actually join our community. They want to join the Sprint Club or the 200K Club, where it's a live community of people across the globe that are in leadership positions, and they discuss marketing, sales, operation, leadership, happiness, and wealth. Those are the topics that they discuss live. And the cool thing is there are quests. This is also something that I learned from the flow science, that people love quests. If you see them sitting at their desk, they look like zombies, but then they go home and they play until 3 a.m. in the morning with a Red Bull to stay awake, and they play until 3 a.m. in the morning games against others. Why do they like games so much? Why do they have so much energy when they play games? Games are very simple. There is one quest, either rescue the princess or something similar, or the boss fight, and then there is a team, so there's clear resources. Everybody has a swim lane, and it's clear what your job is in that swim lane. You are either the person who shoots the way, or the person who heals the shooter when they need healing. And so you have clear roles, clear resources, and immediate communication. That immediate communication, "Hey guys, let's go, let's try the left side. The right is full of zombies. Let's go to the right side." And so there is immediate communication, real-time communication, and clear responsibilities and one quest. So both in the Sprint Club and in the 200K Club, we have created these conditions. There are quests about everything that's hard. So there is a prospecting quest, a messaging quest, a podcasting quest, a YouTube quest, a LinkedIn quest. Everything where people tell us, "Well, I know I should do this more or better, but it's tough." We create a quest, and so it's gamified. They play solo, they play their own messaging, they improve their own messaging, but everybody does it in the same space. It's an app, it's on their phone. And so they see also the answers of the others and the journey of the others. And that gives, again, energy, because now you know, okay, I am doing my work, but I'm not alone. Look, Laura is doing a similar work in her industry, in her country. Hey, Laura, go, 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 Laura. And she go, oh, go, 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 Simon. And so we give each other feedback, and that gives energy again. I'm not lonely. It feels lonely sometimes to do your work, to do good work, because you're doing the right thing, not the easiest thing. You're doing the right thing. And that sometimes feels lonely. We all know that. But you can do your thing, and Laura does her thing, and Anya does her thing, and we do it in a space that connects us. Now we're still doing the good work, but it doesn't feel lonely. It feels connected. And, you feel belonging.
Oh, that's so amazing, Simon. And thank you so much for sharing those tips, insights, and perspectives. And Simon, if people wanted to get in touch with your work and learn more about strategy sprints, where would they do that?
The book is on Amazon. It's called Strategy Sprints, or wherever you buy books. And we hang out at strategysprints.com. So you will find both communities, the Sprint Club, the 200K Club, at strategysprints.com.
Well, that's great. And while you're out there browsing and surfing, don't forget to pick up a copy of the People Dividend or Integrity by Design. Visit me at mike-horne.com. And it's just been great to be in conversation today with Simon Severino, author of Strategy Sprints. And again, Simon, thank you so much. And until the next episode of the People Dividend, stay well.